Weekend celebrations ending in violence.
Shortly after, 20 additional victims walked into local and regional hospitals with various injuries.
As shots are fired at a 4th of July block party. A time for grilling and getting along.
And just walking around and seeing all the variety of the food and the vendors has been cool.
As communities get together to celebrate our independence. A booming soccer subculture in Miami, and it's affecting more than just sports. And Floridians getting a chance to geek out.
SuperCon's a really fun place to come together with friends.
As Florida SuperCon comes to town, these stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Gabriela Perez. I'm Cindy Claros. Today's Monday, July 3rd, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin
Holiday
School of
weekend
Journalism
party
and Media in North Miami. This is Caplin News.
Holiday weekend heartaches as an explosion that everyone thought were fireworks turned out to be a mass shooter gunshots. Tragedy struck a neighbor at what was supposed to be an event of fun and celebration.
Reporter Nicole Castañeda from RDC Bureau traveled to Baltimore to cover the story.
Right here, tons of people were celebrating the 4th of July holidays. However, this annual neighborhood block party ended up in a mass shooting where a 20-year-old man and an 18-year-old woman were killed and 28 were injured. Right now, this is an ongoing investigation.
Just after 12:30 a.m., we received calls for a shooting. We located 10 victims on scene. One victim, adult female, was pronounced deceased on the scene. 9 additional victims were transported from the scene to local hospitals. Shortly after, 20 additional victims walked into local and regional hospitals with various injuries.
The 30 people were all shot and not injured while trying to run away. This is an annual block party held to celebrate city's Brooklyn neighborhood, but police say this was an unpermitted event, so there was no police presence until the shooting began. Mayor Brandon Scott has labeled this mass shooting as a cowardly act of violence and says they will do everything in their hands to find the shooters.
I want to reiterate what I said this morning, that this was a reckless, cowardly act of violence that has taken 2 lives and altered many, many more. And as I said earlier, we will find those who are responsible, and we will not stop until we do so. I hope these folks don't sleep well, because we're not going to sleep until we pull them off.
Mayor Scott also said he didn't want to turn this into something political, but wants to bring awareness that this is an issue related to illegal guns and gun violence. Neighbors and residents gathered together to pray for the victims and for gun violence to end.
In the name of Jesus, we thank you right now, Almighty.
The police believes this shooting was initiated by 2 or more people, and they are asking neighbors and residents of the area to help them with information to find them. From Baltimore, Maryland, for the Lee Caplin News, Nicole Castañeda.
Outrage this morning after people protested across the state over the Florida immigration law. People gathered early Saturday morning in Orlando to board on a bus traveling to Miami and joining other communities in a big weekend protest. The group was a mix of immigrants and their allies.
I think we need to show solidarity with our brothers and sisters.
Florida is like a non-welcome place right now, not only for immigrants, for anyone. And this is not Florida. We are the Sunshine State.
There was also a protest in Winter Park Saturday. The new immigration law requires employers with over 25 to use E-Verify to check on their legal status. Hospital that accepts Medicaid must ask patients for their immigration status.
This morning, it's Independence Day Eve, but the celebration has already begun. Over the weekend, Wynwood was feeling patriotic, celebrating the 4th of July at Smarkersburg, Miami's annual Giant Summer Cookout. As Caplin Vanessa Garcia reports, it was all about the barbecue.
The 4th of July has not started yet, but South Florida has already begun celebrating. Over the weekend, the community gathered at Smarkersburg, Miami annual 4th of July Giant Summer Cookout for a Saturday and Sunday full of delicious bites, featuring more than 20 outdoor food guest vendors and even some special guests, such as Apocalypse Barbecue and Cowie Burger.
Honestly, the community is really dope. Like, you get so many different types of vendors, and it's all Miamians, people who really come from this place, and they kind of try to bring their own twist.
This year, the event partnered up with Apocalypse Barbecue, one of the best ranked barbecue by Miami New Times. They brought their meat and smoker to the Wynwood area for a sizzling day. The cookout brought up an impressive lineup of burgers and ice cream guest vendors, ranked to be the best of the best by Miami New Times and Food Network South Beach Wine and Food Festival Burger Bash 2022. Besides mouth-watering foods, the cookout brought a memorable time for family and friends.
Ooh, we had some really good lemonade, and just walking around and seeing all the variety of the food and the vendors has been cool.
It's, sometimes you hear of all the parties and everything of South Florida. Here you bring really, and you get the authenticity of what really the Miami culture is. And you have that one-on-one with each vendor and the minorities and small businesses, a chance to be able to express their food. So, and it's not only the big brands, but that the community matters as well.
The community of South Florida was able to enjoy live music played by the DJs, carnival games sponsored by DoorDash, and so much more. A free event where the public was able to bring their loved ones and even pets for a celebration of independence surrounded by Miami's best-known food vendors and summer festivities. Smorgasburg's 4th of July celebration might be over, but the 4th of July celebration continues until Tuesday. Reporting for Caplin News, Vanessa Garcia.
South Florida's sci-fi fantasy crowd is still buzzing this morning after the area premiere convention. They got their cosplay on this past weekend at the Miami Beach Convention Center for the Florida annual SuperCon. Caplin News reporter Catherine Miranda saved you a seat up front.
This weekend, Florida SuperCon took over the Miami Convention Center for a 3-day event filled with shops, displays, cosplays, performances, and family-friendly fun. Miami Beach turned into a fantasy land for those who enjoy anime, K-pop, games, movies, and comic books. Locals and tourists were able to view and buy merchandise, artwork, and collectibles from local vendors and artists.
As part of the retail of running a con or running a business in a con, we're entertainers. We're not salespeople, we're entertainers. And we just want you to have a good time and enjoy yourself. Whether you buy or not, doesn't matter. Just, this is the forum where everybody can actually relax and enjoy themselves.
There were also many interactive areas where performances, photo ops, and panels took place, as well as visitors got the chance to come in dressed as their favorite character, an activity known as cosplay.
SuperCon is a really fun place to come together with friends and families, to shop around, to look at people's costumes. For some of us, it feels like Halloween, so I think that's really special.
For more passionate fans, this convention is a way to meet the stars behind famous characters. But for other visitors, SuperCon is a way to connect with family and friends every year.
Well, I have my friend here with me, and we try to do it every year, and we do like different outfits. It's like a thing that my family gets involved in a lot. My dad helped make these butterfly wings, along with my friends too. It's just a fun way to keep in touch with everyone, I think.
No matter how young or old, or whether guests came in alone or with friends and family, there is always a story to tell about the Florida SuperCon experience. For more information, visit floridasupercon.com. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Catherine Miranda.
The holiday weekend is not over yet, as officials say travel will break records. In the midst of the July 4th weekend, AAA reports that more than 50 million Americans will either hit the road or fly, making record-breaking numbers. Yet many passengers experience roadblocks since thousands of flights have been canceled or delayed due to bad weather. Strong storms originating from the Rockies in the mid-Atlantic are to blame.
After a victorious sweep in Boston, the Marlins were trying to avoid being on the other end of the broom.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Between yesterday and today, we probably had about 300-400 people come through.
Cashing in on Messi mania, how one South Florida business is filling a need for fans. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer,
Mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
Football fever is in South Florida as soccer's biggest star makes his debut later this month. Miami soccer culture is at an all-time high largely due to Inter Miami signing the GOAT himself, Lionel Messi.
As Caplin reports, the boom in the interest for Miami Soccer Club has people lining up to collect rare vintage soccer jerseys.
Over the weekend, hundreds of people had a chance to grab rare vintage soccer jerseys and join in on the soccer revolution that's taking over Miami. Tifosi Vintage, one of the largest Florida-based resellers of vintage soccer jerseys, opened a limited-time pop-up shop in the heart of Midtown Miami, selling over 1,000 eye-popping jerseys that excite soccer fans and fashion enthusiasts alike.
We probably, between yesterday and today, we probably had about 300-400 people come through. It boosted sales about 100 to 200% more. And now pop-ups are I'll say about 70% of revenue comes from pop-ups.
Jimmy Ruiz, founder and owner of Tifosi Vintage, says it all started when he saw an opportunity during the pandemic to turn his passion for collecting into a full-on business, and says now the subculture is booming. And with Messi's move to Miami, demand will only grow.
The fact that Messi is coming here, definitely from the Miami, I could see it between both pop-ups that this one has to be a lot more popular than the first one. The first one was very, very good, but this one just completely took off. And I think the fact that Messi's coming here definitely plays a big part, you know?
Shamar Doyle, a local collector, says shops like these are not only great for fashion culture, but also bring passionate soccer fans together as a community, and says he's looking forward to more events like it.
Pretty great because Miami didn't have a big soccer/football culture even 5 years ago. So to see people who were, into different types of jerseys, people that support teams that most people who don't follow the sport don't know about, it was just amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Tifosi Vintage is finished up in Miami for now and has plans to return before the end of the year. But you can still get your classic jerseys anytime at their online shop. And keep an eye out because they're creating new pop-ups across the country, with the next ones being in Houston and New York City. For Caplin News, I am Jan Preisler.
The Miami Marlins coming home after a very bad trip in Georgia, getting swept by the Atlanta Braves. The series had divisional implications as the Braves currently stand on top of the NL East. The second-place Marlins managed to secure an early lead, but succumbed to a fifth-inning rally by the Braves that they could not recover from. The final score was Marlins 3, Braves 6. The Marlins are back home to play the St. Louis Cardinals in a fourth-game series starting today at 6:40 p.m. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Cindy Claros.
I'm Gabriela Perez. Get more news anytime. CaplinNews.fiu.edu.